So this conversation, I feel compelled to have, and every once in a while I do, is usually because of a comment that I received or comments, right? And no different this time. I see it quite often, and I find this an unusual statement or argument, whatever. Everybody's got their preferences. You guys know me. If you've watched my channel for a while, I don't care how you game, what you do, but there's certain things that are going on out there that are for sure going to change the landscape of gaming, and I think certain attitudes feed into that, and companies think it's the way it should be. We recently talked about Ubisoft and some statements made by one of their executives about how people need to get used to not owning their games, and I find that ridiculous. And I think some people get a little mixed on that and think, yeah, that's cool for everybody. It's not cool for everybody, but what I wanted to talk about today, and it's more about the discussion with you guys, hearing what you have to say. Recently, I posted a link, and every once in a while, I'll post links to like video game pre-orders, stuff I find interesting or think you guys will find interesting. Not for everybody, not every game, I get it. But I'll post like affiliate links to Amazon pre-orders, maybe a few other places. Now I'll make a few pennies if you buy the game, type of thing. It helps, support the channel. That's it. Like, hey, if you're going to buy it anyway, why not, right? So make a few pennies off of that. But a lot of times I'll post the game and I'll see these same comments, right? The latest one was Sea of Stars. I got a couple comments in a few different places saying like, hey, why would anybody buy this? This stupid type of thing. It's free on Xbox Game Pass. Now, what drives me nuts with that statement is like, it's not a statement just to make people aware, like, hey, if you don't want to buy this game or you don't have the funds or whatever, or you want to find out if you like it first before you commit to buying a physical copy, you can play it on Game Pass. But Game Pass costs you money. When have we, all of a sudden, I see this time and time again with subscription services, when have we decided that something we pay for to have access is considered free? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm not wrong. You're not getting shit for free. If I have to pay Xbox, Microsoft, a subscription fee for Game Pass, that's not free. If I have to pay PlayStation and they allow me to download a couple games every month, that's not free. And here's the thing that, like, those games that, like, PlayStation, like, throws at you, I don't download them. Why? Because if I don't pay for it, I don't have access to them. I don't want my library full of games I don't own. That's just the way I am. I don't ever download the games they give you. You may think I'm, crazy for that, but I just don't. I never really had with the Xbox, with PlayStation. I just don't download those games. I pay for these damn subscription services because I want to have internet access. I want to have online access on these systems, and that's just the world we live in today. That's fine. We all agreed we'll pay for this shit, and these companies are charging us, and that's how it's going to go with the digital, the future, the digital future. I do see, and it sucks that's where we're leaning towards, is less and less physical release games. It happens quite often that like a game will be released digital only. Maybe somebody down the road, a certain game, maybe months later, they'll release physical copy. Maybe one of these limited, run style companies will sell a, game. Maybe there'll be imports. And that was how it was with like Sea of Stars. Like, you could import a copy of it physically, but in North America, it's finally coming out physically in a few months. And it just, like, I don't put value on those kind of things. I put value on physical media, but I understand the convenience for some people having a digital library. You don't have to have a bunch of physical objects taking over your life. I get it. But I see plenty of people. I wish we could just like live in harmony on both fronts on that, but it really seems digital is where it's leaning toward. You see like the Xbox we talked about a while back, the new Xbox revisions are just digital only systems. So, I think PlayStation and Xbox at some point is just going to be all digital. Nintendo will hold on to physical media, but that's just my thought. But that's just the way it's going to go. But I put value on that, and I've seen a few people mention this same thing, is like, if I download something digitally, first off, you don't own, like, even if you buy the physical copy, you don't really own it, right? You just got a license to play it. I get that argument. But if you digitally download something, say you lost your job, say like the bills were crazy that month, and you got a back catalog of games you don't play anymore. maybe, you go to GameStop, you could sell it for like $2, but if you sold it online, you can get like $200. I don't know. Like, I don't buy physical games as a return on an investment. I don't look at it that way, but I look at it like I physically own it and I could do whatever the hell I want with it. I could play it, I could sell it, I could trade it, I could let somebody borrow it. And if I desperately need some cash, I can, sell it, right? Digital, you can't do that. Digital's tied to an account. There's no other way. Physical is not tied to an account. When they have digital where you could swap that key, you could give it to somebody, you could sell that license that you bought, and it's distributable in that way, then okay, maybe I'll be more for digital, but no company works that way from what I understand. Like, people have this this relationship with digital nowadays, with all these subscriptions that, oh, I got free access. And that's what the original conversation here. I know I'm kind of going off in different directions, but none of this shit's free, because once you stop paying, you don't own it anymore. But if I buy the physical version of a movie, of a game, that's mine. I can use it whenever I want, as long as it doesn't require online access. You have to have like a download. And there's a lot of physical games freaking sucks that, yeah, they got to install PlayStation, Xbox. You got to install them. But you can go to like Does It Play, I believe is the website's name, and look at a list of games. Not all encompassing, but they'll tell you like, hey, you buy this game, you pop it in the PlayStation or Xbox, and you don't have internet access. Once it installs, can you play it? And the list is kind of alarming, how many games that require downloads. But even on the Nintendo side, I see a lot of people prefer Nintendo, as far as like, hey, I buy the physical game and it's just playable. And there are a lot of Nintendo games that are like that, more so than others, it seems. But there's still some Nintendo Switch games that do require a download. A lot of times, though, it'll be those stupid games where the physical box will tell you it requires it. That sucks. But really, even physical media is turning into where it feels like digital is what my point was, I guess. But at the end of the day, I have so many damn games in my back catalog for retro games, current generation games, that kind of thing. We only live once. Can't take it with us. At least I don't think you can. But once we go all digital, if it hits that point, I'm probably done, man. Probably done. Like, I don't want to be renting games. I don't want to be downloading stuff that you could potentially lose because your account gets banned for some stupid reason or access is restricted. All these live service games, all these companies want to make live service games. I don't know. This is the evolution of gaming, is where we're at now. This digital live service, get rid of physical media. I guess that's my rant and ramble for the day. I don't like it. Things aren't free when people think they're free. I prefer physical for many reasons. You may think differently, and hey, to each their own. Appreciate you guys. Bye.